Hi everybody, my name is Taylor and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be filming my Booktube-A-Thon 2017 wrap up. That's right, Booktube-A-Thon is over for the year. I had such a great time participating in my first Booktube-A-Thon. I definitely got more reading done than I normally would, but the best part really was getting involved in a community that I've only ever really kind of creepily watched from the outside. Now, I only ended up uploading one video challenge because I found that it took up a lot more of my day than I thought it would. I made the executive decision to just focus on my reading. However, that didn't stop me from getting really involved in the Twitter sprints. It was so much fun actually reading with people, and I followed so many bookish accounts, which I'm really excited to keep up with everyone in the future. Now, just so you know, I did get some reading done around all that tweeting, so let's jump in and see the books that I completed. The first book I finished last week was Once by Morris Gletzman. This book actually managed to complete 3 challenges for me. I decided to jump in and read it all in one day, so check. It is about a character that is very different to myself, which I'll get into when I explain the book. And what I didn't realise when I was doing my TBR video is that it has a person on the cover. I read a book with a person on the cover. Once is a very special book to me. I first read it when I was about 9 years old and I loved it just as much now as I did as a child. This is a middle grade historical fiction following a young Jewish boy named Felix living in Poland in World War II who decides to run away from his orphanage to find his parents. It is a beautiful story and I highly recommend it, especially if you love The Book Thief. It's just so beautiful. I think it's so underhyped and I really just want everyone to read it. The second book I finished was Juniper Lemon's Happiness Index by Julie Israel, which was the Booktube-A-Thon pick for 2017. Now, as I said in my TBR video, I wrote this book without knowing the synopsis, so even though I kind of technically brought it for Booktube, I'm going to give myself a tick for read a book that I brought because of the cover. Because it has a really pretty cover and that's all I saw. I didn't know anything about it, it counts, I completed a challenge, leave me alone. Now overall, I really enjoyed this storyline. This book follows Juniper as she deals with her older sister's unexpected death. And one day she was using her sister's bag and she finds an undelivered letter written by her sister to a mysterious person. I enjoyed the story overall and I liked how it dealt with death kind of differently, but I did have some problems, especially with the ending. I wasn't really into it, it kind of flopped a little for me, and I found that some of the characters were doing things that it's like, that just seems out of character. And I feel bad saying that because it's Julie's book. Maybe it's completely in character for them, but it just seemed out of the blue for me. I still gave it 3 stars and I still recommend reading it if you think it sounds interesting. Now the third book I completed for Booktube-A-Thon is Then by Morris Gletzman. Yes, this is 2 books in one, and yes, I am counting it as 2 books. After reading Once in one day, I decided I can read Then in one day, so I literally just went and sat outside and read the entire 130 or so pages. I'm not going to tell you any more about the synopsis, obviously, because it's a sequel, but read both of them. Read this book! That's a tick on read a book entirely outside. Now the final book I read, yes, I only finished 4 books, is Night Owls by Jen Bennett. Oh my god, I read this because it was a hyped book for me. One of my friends really hyped this up for me and it met the hype. This was so good. All I knew going into this book was that it was a YA contemporary about a girl who meets a mysterious boy on a bus and everything happens from there. So honestly, only knowing that, it sounded really cliche, but it wasn't. It was so good. This really dealt with romance at that age better than any other YA book I've ever read. I thought it really captured it. It felt so realistic. It wasn't just this blossomy, happy romance between like 2 15-year-olds. There were awkward moments. It was so good. And it had a really great family dynamic. I loved hearing about these characters' relationships with their families, which weren't always good, but it really dealt with them so well. The characters were unique. They had unique interests without being too over the top, I think. I really liked this. It has a different name in America. I believe it's called The Anatomical Shape of a Heart is what it's called in America, but it's called Night Owls here in Australia. So yeah, I really recommend picking this up. It is such a great read. I'm so glad that I finally picked it up after a year. So that brings me to the end of my wrap up. I read a total of 4 books this Booktube-A-Thon, which added up to 871 pages, and I completed 6 reading challenges. I am very happy with myself with that. That is a lot more than I would normally read during a week. I'd really like to thank Ariel for running this event because it was so much fun. I hope everyone else had as great a Booktube-A-Thon experience as I did. Thanks everyone, I'll hopefully see you soon with some other kind of video. See ya!